we go. I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on this conscious evolution. We just finished our vertical stream, and in it we had a bunch of conversations, primarily focusing around this understanding, this perspective of critical thinking, right? It's pretty well understood, for most of us at least, that critical thinking is a good thing. It's good to have critical thinking skills, right? Love you, Jovan. Sending you so much love. It's good for us to have critical thinking skills. However, in our pursuit of critical thinking, we might find ourselves thinking critically about certain things, right? And in that way, the critical thinking of those certain things might leave us uncomfortable, might leave us feeling disheartened, might feel us projecting, like putting out into the world information that might be hurtful, that might not serve others, that might cause harm in one way or another, right? So I was battling with this concept in my mind that I consider myself a critical thinker, but I also consider myself critical. I also consider myself, sometimes someone who is very stubborn, unwilling to budge, you know. And at the same time, the critical thinker in me, that version of me that's unwilling to budge, is realizing that the thing that's not budging is the fact that I cannot not budge. All right. And it puts you in a little bit of a loop. Does lock your mind up to think about solutions. You can find yourself pretty anxious. At least I do. I do think there is balance to be had. But yeah, I'm not exactly too sure how to reach it just yet. Now I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, I did actually spend some time asking some questions as well. And among some of the questions that we had is allowing ourselves the freedom to critically think about our whys. Really asking the question of why. And then asking the question of why 5 more times. Why am I putting this back? Because there's no weed in the grinder. Why is there no weed in the grinder? Because I crushed the last nug of the gorilla strains I had. Why is that the last nug? Because I've been almost smoking it exclusively because I want to finish it. Why do you want to finish it? Because a part of me wants to smoke a little bit less over the next while. I do in fact think that it might serve me in this pursuit to make more money. Big surprise. And I feel, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be critically thinking in that way. I say. I say, of all people, say that. Is it bad? Will I look back at the version of me that was willing to do what it takes? I sure do wonder. These creatures are making big old bunches. Uh, maybe I can stop critically thinking. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm literally trying to critically think. And instead of doing that, maybe we can just not. Maybe we can just spend a moment not thinking of it. Freaking flies. Don't think about it. The sound. Don't think about it. The mosquito is biting you. Don't think about it. Economic crashes. Don't think about it. Mass exploitation. Just don't think about it. Health for profit. Don't think about it. Gunshots in the background. Don't think about it. Irritants in your environment. Do not think about it. And a part of me is saying all of these things, acknowledging that in saying them, thinking about them has to occur. Like, that's just the nature of it. But at the same time, I don't know if thinking about it is helping. Is thinking about it helping? Right? Because I feel like I didn't really touch on that fractal at all yesterday, well, in the previous stream. Oh, careful. We talked a lot about critical thinking, and we talked about the value thereof. And some of the values thereof is improved relationships, but specifically if you're not being critical. And one of the other things was more confidence in your decision making. Confidence in your decision making. The critical part of me is again coming to this conclusion that I should be more critical of other people's decision making than my own. If I was given more freedoms, hey Joy V, it's nice having you. If I was given more freedoms, would I actually do more? Would I actually travel more? And I feel like these are one of those questions that's like a little bit silly to ask ourselves. I think thinking is fine, but reeling in the emotion that arises might be where we get caught up. Observing the emotion through the lens of curiosity rather than judgment, that's the key. And that's wise, Joy Vive. And that's very wise. I am quick to feeling irritated, I want to say. Hello, hello again. Right? Like, These creatures making such extreme sounds irritates me. I am relentless. Hey, can you stop that? You don't have to bark, you know? She's right there. She can hear you. Right. And as you said, Joy, like I can reel in the feeling of having been irritated just moments ago. Or I can let go. And I can move on. And I can find myself in the next instance of reality, allowing myself to critically think about other things. I feel maybe that's the problem I'm facing. Oh, that's Chauvin that said that. Chauvin that said that. Sorry, Joe. I think like one of the things that I'm experiencing is the inability to think about other things. Right? So it's like I have to keep considering the same thought that I just did. Right? And then the feelings that come with those thoughts arise over and over again. And eventually curiosity turns to familiarity. And you know. I didn't say that, Joe. You're right. Sorry about that, Joy, for erroneously assigning you praise. All of that praise has been redacted and has been given in double to Jovan. Love is true. Sitting with it, a lens of curiosity rather than judgment. Yeah. Familiarity. Familiarity, curiosity, and judgment. My mind is almost seeing it as a triangle. How uh, judgment can become familiar as well. And judgment, in this moment in my mind, is being perceived from the perspective of ego and want. Right? You rarely judge the things, at least primarily, I think, that doesn't affect you directly. Right? That's how a lot of people operate. Because who are you to judge it? Right? It doesn't affect you. But as soon as it does, then suddenly judgment can arise pretty aggressively. Right? Because you judge it as good or bad to your immediate experience. These freaking flies, for example, I judge them as bad. I judge them as so bad. If I had the power to, they would spontaneously combust. I know that probably sounds crazy, but it's true. You land on me, and then suddenly you just go up in a puff of smoke. That sounds insane, even more when I think about it. Praise retracting accepted. Pulls all of that praise right back. I'm imagining from the perspective of like pulling off a band-aid or something. I send these praises back to Joy tripled. What do you do, Joy? Triple it again and send it to the next person, or keep it? We'll make a whole new thing on YouTube's. I've been getting messages. Oh, I have a meeting to attend tomorrow at 10. Hi daar, I'm Nico. Dit klink heeltemal reg. Ek sal 10 uur reg wees. Oh, I got some messages from my clients as well. Later. My mind is still curious what he has to say. Because I'm pretty sure we ended the messages on like a note of, yeah, that's pretty recent. I'll listen later. Poor African child with face flies must stay. It drives me insane. I'll lose my mind. I'll lose my mind so much. Stop landing on my face. Like there's so much else. Look at all of this infinity around us to land. Right, you land on my face, spontaneous combustion. That's how it works. Face flies. So messed up. Uh, okay. I feel good about having shown up for this one as well. I feel this one was a lot more like accepting again, right? Accepting of the critical part of myself and not seeing it as a defeat, but seeing it as an acceptance, right? Almost like my self-critical self has come to a conclusion. And that conclusion, the version of me that's not self-critical can't really dispute it. Sentences are hard, okay? Yes. I think the version of me that wants to do more might have a point. So I'll keep trying. I'll keep applying for jobs. I'll make a plan. I'll make a plan. But I won't give up. I appreciate your friends for critically thinking with me, showing up for the future by showing up for now, for being present for this moment. I'll see you friends again very soon. Tomorrow. So much love to you. Holding your class. Actually, I just realized. Oh, and I got another message as well. If I hit that button literally a second earlier, I wouldn't have seen it. Important to ask questions as to why things are the way they are, and not make assumptions as to the way they should be, as to why they should be a different way. Yeah, you're right, Joe. How should things be? Who's to say? My self-critical thinker is screaming, never say die, never say die. Yeah, never. You can't stop us. We're showing up for life. Here is yesterday's flower. Today's might have similar kind of color rhymes as well. And then I'll read yesterday's poem. The poem about momentum, right? Acknowledging that our critical thinker has a certain momentum to it as well. So it goes. Where momentum lives. In every breath, a note of your unfolding. The cadence of all you've been, the echo of dreams still forming. Momentum is the hum beneath your story, the spark that won't let you rest because there's more light to find. Consider each moment, every dawn that woke you softly, every midnight that stirred your heart, each chance you took or didn't. They wind themselves into a current that carries you further than you thought you'd go. Feel it in your veins, the buildup of all you've won, all you've lost, all you've dared to imagine. It's the pulse of moving forward, urging you to shape tomorrow with the courage of now. Different currents swirl inside, the zeal of morning, the hush of evening, the subtle push of memory, the gentle pull of hope. They converge into one unstoppable force, lifting you when doubt dims the path. Look behind you. not to grieve what's gone, but to harness the strength already earned by every step. Let it fuse with what's coming, turning hesitation into motion, turning ideas into acts of change. Because momentum isn't just movement, it's the faith that what has carried you this far will carry you further still, will fling open doors you once thought shut. And in that trust, you become the living promise of better days. So gather your tides, your seasons, your hours, and stride on with the power of everything you've lived. For that is the energy the world needs from you now. A flame of forward motion, sparking hope wherever you go. Sparking hope wherever we go. Critically thinking, how can I spark more hope in every moment? All right, how can I spark more hope in my mind so that I can foresee a good future? How? Where? Where's the hope for me to be sparked? So much love to you, friends. Thank you for sparking hope in me by showing up wherever you go. The fact that you went here means that you inspired hope in me today, and I appreciate that. Love is true. I thank you, and I'll see you again soon, tomorrow. Goodbye.